So the big news just dropped. The Raiders have decided to move on from Antonio Pierce after just one season as head coach. Now, yes, this decision is going to split opinions. Some fans will think it's the right call, while others will be frustrated. Let's break down what's next for the Raiders and who could take over as the new head coach. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. The official statement from the Raiders reads, "The Las Vegas Raiders have relieved Antonio Pierce of his duties as head coach. We appreciate Antonio's leadership, first as an interim head coach, and this past season as the head coach. Antonio grew up a Raiders fan and his silver and black roots run deep. We are grateful for his ability to reignite what it means to be a Raider throughout the entire organization. We wish nothing but the best for AP and his family in the future." And I couldn't agree more. Antonio was the kind of coach who reconnected the team with its identity. He brought energy back to the building, but things didn't go well, so the organization had to make a tough choice that could push them in the right direction, and they did. Antonio Pierce brought fire and energy when he stepped in for Josh McDaniels. He was the right choice at the time, and you could argue he earned that shot. But after seeing how the season played out, it's clear the organization felt it was time to pivot. And honestly, this move shows the Raiders are still committed to the standard they've always held excellence. Do I think AP got the short end of the stick? Yeah, I do. Winning in the NFL isn't easy when your quarterbacks are Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, but at the same time, I think Pierce might be looking back at this run with some regrets. He admitted he didn't always trust his gut enough as a head coach. That hesitation cost him. When you're a leader and you preach intensity, toughness, and that Raiders mentality, like he did every time he took the podium, firing everyone up with that energy, you have to back it up on the field. But too often, Pierce played it safe, coaching not to lose instead of coaching to win. And in this league, you can't afford to hold back. You have to stay aggressive, take those risks, and push the tempo. Playing conservative football, it doesn't win long term. Look, he was dealt a tough hand, no doubt. But if you were to break down his coaching performance into quarterback numbers, it'd be something like 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. No team would feel comfortable rolling into the next season with those stats from their quarterback. And that's why this decision, while tough, was the right one for the Raiders' future. It's tough to make a call like this, but from a football standpoint, it's hard to justify another season with Pierce leading the team. He's got potential. There's no doubt AP can grow into a solid coach at the NFL level. He just wasn't quite ready for the demands of a full-time head coaching role yet. So now the big question, who's next? The most obvious name circulating is Mike Vrabel. He's a strong candidate for sure. But news is circulating that multiple teams, including the Bears, Patriots, and Jaguars, are considering him for the interview as a head coach. And most probably, he will land in New England because the Patriots gig might even be a better fit for him. And for anyone questioning why the Raiders are so interested in him, let's break it down. Vrabel won NFL Coach of the Year in 2021, has a winning record, and has multiple playoff victories under his belt. Those are accomplishments Antonio Pierce can't claim yet. But he's not the only name out there. Keep an eye on Liam Coen, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. His play-calling style fits modern NFL offenses, and he's got connections with some of the candidates the Raiders interviewed last year, like Zach Robinson. Another interesting name, Pete Carroll. Yes, Carroll's been trying to make his way back into the NFL conversation, and knowing how Mark Davis thinks, this could be one of those bold moves that gets serious consideration. Out of all the coaches mentioned, Pete Carroll definitely brings the biggest name recognition. But there's another name that needs to be on the radar, Chip Kelly. Currently, Kelly, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, interviewed with the Raiders last season for the head coaching role and has made it clear he wants to go back into the NFL. If the Raiders don't land Mike Vrabel, Kelly could be a serious contender. But let's be real, the focus is still on Vrabel for now. This offseason is shaping up to be a wild one, and reports keep pouring in. From what I'm hearing, there's been some serious behind-the-scenes discussion involving Tom Brady and Mark Davis. Antonio Pierce took the podium yesterday, and the way the organization handled that, man, it was not good. Not good at all. Having AP address the media like that, knowing what was likely coming, that's not how a strong, well-run franchise handles business. It's frustrating. Bad teams stay bad when they keep making decisions like this. Honestly, shame on Mark Davis for putting Pierce in that uncomfortable spot. Here's the thing. We knew Brady would have a say in this decision, and the fact that neither he nor Mark Davis spoke with Pierce before his press conference, that says a lot. This offseason could be one of the wildest yet. The Raiders have $108 million in salary cap space, 10 draft picks, and a glaring need at quarterback. And with Tom Brady now involved in decisions, yeah, this could get crazy. Another important thing to discuss here is Patrick Graham's future. Graham's contract is up, and he's already lined up interviews for both the Jacksonville head coaching job and the Bengals defensive coordinator position. With Pierce out, it makes sense that Graham would explore other options. If you're a top coordinator and don't even know who the head coach will be next season, you're going to look around. That's just the reality of the league. But in reality, the Raiders can't afford to lose Patrick E. Graham. He's still one of the best defensive minds in the league. Now, shifting to the offensive side of the ball, this next move has to be strategic. Whether the next head coach has an offensive background or not, the Raiders must bring in a coordinator with serious quarterback development experience. This team needs a franchise quarterback, and the next coaching staff has to be capable of finding and developing that guy. Now, let's address a concern that's heating up: Maxx Crosby's future in Las Vegas. Max isn't happy about Pierce being let go. The two had a strong relationship, and Crosby respected AP's leadership. But here's the reality: if the Raiders don't offer Crosby a contract extension soon, he might start considering his options anyway. This roster needs a clear plan, both at quarterback and overall construction. If the front office doesn't show they're moving in the right direction, it wouldn't be shocking to see Max explore other opportunities. Yes, this coaching change could influence his decision, but it's not as simple as Max wanting AP to stay. Crosby actually said in an interview that he's not in the business of telling the organization how to run things. That's not his role, and honestly, I think he made those comments knowing this coaching decision was coming. Now, the big question everyone's asking: is Maxx Crosby going to request a trade because of Pierce's firing? The short answer? Number. If Crosby does request a trade this offseason, it won't be just because of AP's exit. The bigger issue would be his contract. Right now, Crosby has zero guaranteed money left on his deal, and he's going to want an extension. He's earned it too. I'm talking north of $30 million per year, possibly even $35 million, to top Nick Bosa's current $34 million annual salary. For some clarity on the front office situation, Tom Telesco is staying on as the Raiders' general manager. That's confirmed. No speculation there. So now, with a coaching vacancy, an unsettled QB situation, and franchise cornerstones like Crosby voicing frustration, this next hire is absolutely crucial. The Raiders can't afford to get this wrong. At the end of the day, it comes down to trust. Trust in Tom Brady, trust in Tom Telesco. Back in November, I told you why the Raiders were planning to keep Telesco, specifically because of his eye for quarterback talent, something this franchise desperately needs right now. The reason Tom Brady and Mark Davis believe in Tom Telesco is simple: his ability to find and develop quarterback talent. If you're not ready to trust their vision, this offseason might feel frustrating because those two are going to have a massive influence on every decision the Raiders make moving forward. But the biggest issue in Las Vegas right now isn't just about the head coach. It's about finding a great quarterback. Without one, no coach is going to succeed here. You could hire Mike Vrabel, Nick Saban, Andy Reid, any elite name you can think of. But if Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are your starting quarterbacks next season, you're not winning games consistently. Sure, they might steal a few wins, but you're not building a championship contender. So there you have it. The Antonio Pierce era in Las Vegas has officially come to an end. The Raiders are at a crossroads with major decisions ahead: a new head coach, a franchise quarterback search, Maxx Crosby's future. This offseason could redefine the entire direction of the organization. But now, I want to hear from you, the nation. Who do you think should be the next Raiders head coach? Is Mike Vrabel the right guy? Or should they take a shot with someone else? Do you think Maxx Crosby will stay loyal to the silver and black? Or could his frustration lead to a blockbuster trade? And most importantly, what should the Raiders prioritize this offseason? A proven head coach, locking down a franchise quarterback, or keeping defensive stability with Patrick Graham? Drop your takes in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this wild offseason. Let's keep the conversation going. I'll catch you in the next video.